Welcome, Jesse, on a new episode of Haunted Passengers. I heard you got some spooky stories to tell me, so I would love to hear them.
Awesome. I got quite a few for you. So, my first story, it's about how I nearly drowned as a kid at the swimming pool. So, at this old swimming pool, as a child in my hometown, there's a water slide in the pool, and
Yeah,
the slide pool and the leisure pool are connected, but they're separated by the little buoy lines that they have in pools to
like it's
separate
an
lapping and stuff.
one big pool, or is it just
Yeah, it's
so they
smaller
just
than
roped
like a
off
lap
where like
pool.
the exit of the water slide is?
Exactly, so that people don't swim into there or
Yeah.
whatever. If someone comes down the slide, you get impaled by their feet at fast speeds. Anyway, I went down the slide with my goggles on, as kids would probably do something they weren't supposed to.
So they told you not to wear the goggles?
No, no one told me not to put them on, but I'm
Uh,
sure you're not supposed to. But I had them on. I went down the slide, and then I guess my goggles got stuck on the line,
like the
and
buoy line?
yeah, like the elastic band rubber part at the back of the
Yeah.
goggles. I guess somehow I got caught in there, and I was the water from the slide was pushing me, I guess, and I was looking up at the ceiling and breathe, and then everything went black, dark, nothing, just nothing. And then I guess a few moments later, the lifeguard was giving me CPR and stuff, and I woke up. And I'm like, oh, I'm not in the water anymore, and then I walked off. It was an
You
experience.
just walked off, you're just like, okay. Did you hop
Yeah,
back in the pool?
I wandered off. Probably did.
That's I don't know what like the protocol is, but I feel like they're like, okay, we just gave the kid CPR and he stood back up and he just went back into the pool. Like seems very like
Ah,
nonchalant. They're not like, you should go to the hospital right now and get checked out.
no, I don't. I wasn't out for that long. I don't think. Maybe like a couple seconds, less than a minute.
Long enough for them to like administer CPR on you.
Well, I don't know if they did or not, but
Uh you just like blacked out at like you went down
yeah,
the slide, got tangled in the rope, blacked out and woke up on the side of the like pool.
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
So I guess it's not particularly scary. I wasn't really thinking, oh my god, oh, I'm gonna die. But like,
It's like kinda like it's scary to the point where you're like, "I almost died."
yeah, exactly. Oh, and then yeah, I still go swimming though. Didn't
Now I'm
I wasn't
addicted. Now I can't stop.
ah,
I love
just the
tempting death.
rush. Ah.
I wear 3 pairs of goggles down the slides now.
Fun fact: that swimming pool is actually gone now.
Your fault.
They tore it. 6 years later, they're like, "Oh, remember that kid? Remember that kid that drowned? That almost drowned? Yeah, we got to tear it down because of that. But now we got to do it now."
All these kids keep getting their goggles hooked up on this rope here. We can't it's like we got a fucking crab trap here. They're just pulling the kids out of the pool by the rope day in and day out.
Oh, man. And then I got another story. I'm not. Maybe somebody out there has had the same experience, but I. So I was at my stepdad's house where I lived with him and my mom,
Yeah.
and I had a babysitter that night. We did whatever babysitters and stuff
This is a horror story for the babysitter or for you?
for me.
Uh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, sassy, you're sassy. But we went to bed, and then I
Yeah.
woke up in the middle of the night or early morning, and the lights were on. Some of the lights were on, and I wandered the house like, oh, I wonder, my mom's not home yet, and looking for the babysitter, and I couldn't find her anywhere. She wasn't in my mom's room or the spare room,
How old are
and
you at the
I
time?
don't young, like maybe 8 or 10,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
maybe younger, because I was definitely upset and crying, and was like, "Where's the babysitter? I'm all by myself in this house."
Was it all like pitch
Ooh.
black and stuff?
No, the lights were on
Oh,
and
okay.
such. Still by
But it's
myself
like
out of
nighttime?
town. Yeah, it was nighttime.
Yeah.
Maybe between 12 and 3 in the morning, and, like, it's dark outside, and it's the countryside too, so, like, probably 10 minutes away from any other person,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and so I called my great-grandfather. It's like, "I don't know where the babysitter went, she's not here." Like, "Okay, we're gonna come get you." Just in my bedroom with the door shut, under my blanket, crying and trying to wait. Ooh, where'd she go?
So you're just alone in this house and the babysitter's vanished?
Yeah. And then he came, he got me, went to their house and went back to bed. And then apparently it turned out that the babysitter was in the spare room and I just couldn't look very well at the bed.
Wait, your grandfather didn't go, "Hey, babysitter," he was just like, "Come here,
No,
child, let's leave. I don't
pretty
wanna look
much.
for the, like, murdered babysitter, that's too spooky for me. Let's just
Yeah.
get it this place gives me the heebie-jeebies, you little lad. Let's get out
Yeah.
of here."
Oh, I thought the babysitter left.
Yeah, but
But
the fact that your great-grandfather, who's, like, a grown adult, was like, "Okay, take your word for it." He didn't, like,
well,
check at
to
all.
be to be fair, it was really, really early in the morning, so like it's like, oh, we gotta go back to
Yeah,
bed.
but, like, what about the babysitter?
I,
There's a missing
I don't know.
person in the house. Well, I
Oh
wonder
no,
if
they
the
were sleep.
babies because how who found the babysitter?
Yeah, they called the next day. He's like, he's not there.
This is the scary story for the babysitter. They woke up and were like, "Uh, Jesse, where are you?" And, like, searched the whole house and were like,
But
"I'm
yeah, they
so screwed. Somebody probably came in the middle of the night and abducted him," which is kinda true, and then, like, turned out that, like, your grandfather was like, "Well, the babysitter didn't phone me, only Jesse did, so I'm here for the child." Just
well,
like
yeah, I I knew their
that
phone number off by heart too, so like I could
he
easily
didn't leave a
call them.
note or anything, like, "I've taken the child you're watching."
Well, we didn't know they were there. I didn't know they were
Yeah, but
there.
he didn't put, like, any effort into searching for them.
I who why leave a note for someone who's not there?
Why look for this person who's not there?
They could have just left.
But they're
Uh,
babysitter, they're supposed to were they supposed to stay the whole night?
yeah, but
Okay.
anyway, but yeah, that's how that story went. Oh, that was oh,
Like a missing
actually,
persons, how the start of the missing person story goes, and you go, "What do you mean they didn't look for him?" Like, "Teenage babysitter abducted from home, rural home," and then, like, the minute by minute thing, your grandfather would be like, look super guilty in that situation, be like, "Yeah, I totally
oh,
just came and took the kid. I didn't even look for the babysitter. I had no idea. You did it. You killed
I
him."
made I made them disappear.
Anywho,
Um, yeah.
you got any other spookies?
Um, mostly, but mostly the scary things that happen to me are my nightmares and dreams that I have sometimes. And
Okay.
I guess for a kid too, a lot of basement problems too.
You have a lot of basement problems?
Yeah, because basements are
Like
fucking
you
scary.
or your house?
Just any basement, honestly. Just don't like
Let me
basements.
tell me
They're
more about
spooky.
your basement problems.
Basement.
Did you have a leaky basement?
No.
Oh,
So
that's good.
my family, my grandma has 4 daughters,
Mhm.
and we
This is
all lived
already
in this
scary.
one yeah. We all lived in this one house in the countryside
Yeah.
together, and there was the main floor, which is in this case the basement, and then the upper floor, or I guess the ground floor and then the upper floor. My room was on the ground floor, really small
Yeah.
room, or decent size for a kid's room.
So wait, there's 2 floors?
Yeah, there's the ground floor and the second floor.
Where's the basement?
That was the basement for me
Oh, okay. Okay. Was it,
because
like,
we'd always
fully above ground, or was it just, like, one of those half?
yeah, it's fully above ground, but
Oh, okay.
we mostly were like the kitchen, the foyer, and the dining room or living room or upstairs. We'd pretty much almost always be upstairs.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So the problem I had as a kid was that I would always, almost always, have nightmares sleeping downstairs.
Where your room
Always.
was?
Yep.
So you just always have nightmares?
Yep. I would always be scared to sleep down there,
Did
and
they
I'd
move your
almost
room?
always no, or they might have. I don't know. I can't remember. I just remembered I'd always have scary dreams.
Our child keeps screaming at night. What do we do?
No,
Nothing.
no, I
Seems like
just
he's
run.
terrified about the room he's staying in. Yeah, well, he'll grow out of it.
And yeah, I'd have a the one dream I had that I still remember to this day was like I'd be upstairs looking down the stairs and it'd be dark and I could
Yeah,
see smoke rising up from the basement, really thick smoke that you
yeah,
can't see through,
yeah.
and it would have a face in it and it would slowly rise up from the basement
Oh,
with like a creepy smile in it
that
and
sucks.
whispering too. It would whisper as it comes up the stairs and gets louder, and it's looking right at me too. And it's like, oh fuck,
You remember what it would say?
no! It was just whispering, like it was like wind sound
Save
almost, I
20% or
guess.
more on Geico insurance.
Ah, the values! Oh my
The
god!
horrors,
The
the
bargains!
savings. I can't handle the savings.
It burns. And then
That
yeah,
sucks.
just
I don't like
yeah.
that. And it was like
No,
reoccurring.
no, no, I don't think so.
Oh,
Not
okay.
that dream specifically, but it would just be scary dreams constantly, is what I
It
remember.
was just your dreams trying to warn you that you were gonna perish in a house fire.
I'm still waiting. I'm waiting. And then um, there was one time at my step parents' house or my step dad's house where I'd wake up
Yeah.
from a nightmare, wait 10 minutes, go back to sleep, have another nightmare, wake up, go back to sleep, nightmare, wake up, go back to sleep, nightmare, 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 nightmare. I was just like,
What a
God damn it!
what a miserable childhood you had.
It doesn't happen that often, but like when it does, it sucks.
It's like Nightmare on Elm Street. I would just never sleep. I would just sit there with like a coffee maker under my bed. If every time I went to sleep, there was a nightmare within 10 minutes.
Uh, there's sometimes I get those. Do you know what liminal space is? Like the back rooms
Liminal
and the
space?
yeah. So it's
I have
like
no idea what that is.
a place that a normal big open kind of space,
Yeah,
but something is off. So like when if you were to walk into like
but it's like a really opened area or just any
mm,
area.
just kind of any area, like think of a mall with no
Yeah.
people in it, nothing,
Oh,
and
okay,
the
so
lights
there's
are
just like little details that are off.
yeah, and like
Y-
it's empty. There's nobody there. All you
Yeah.
hear and see are the shops, the lights buzzing, maybe even smells. Well, for anybody else but me. And then yeah, so imagine that, but it's
Yeah.
your house.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
So like so think about your house and the carpets, the walls and stuff. And then your house doesn't there's no way to get out of the house. There's no windows. There's no door.
Like there's no doors or they're like locked.
No, there's no doors to get outside of the house. They lead
So
to different
there's
rooms.
just like doors between rooms, but no doors leading out.
That's right. No windows either.
Okay.
So, and there's stairs that go up and down and stuff. So, one of the dreams that I had that sucks is that the house is pretty dark, though there's like kind of nightlight colors. Like it's just kind of orangey, small lights.
Like there's just like a global illumination is all I can
Yeah,
think of.
kind of.
Like there's just a light presence, but not coming from any source.
No, no, there'd be sources, I think. And
Okay.
then there's stairs that go down, and
Yeah.
you can go down further and further, but like you get that weird hair standing up on end feeling or tingle down your spine every time you go deeper, or every time I went deeper, and it always felt like there was something else in the house with me,
Yeah.
and it sucked. And the deeper I go, the worse it got, and like, ugh.
So you're just like in your house, but it was not your house at the same time, and you kept walking down flights of stairs.
Yeah, there's just different staircases everywhere, and hallways and rooms and
What happened when you go upstairs?
nothing. You get further away from the basement, which means it's safer.
You should have done that.
Oh,
Maybe it was like you would start on like neutral ground of dreams and you're like a moth to like the evil and you're like, let's go deeper and deeper towards the terror. And then if you went up and up, you would have a nice dream.
I don't know. But and then, do you know those houses that have like the upstairs and then you can see the downstairs? Or oh my god,
Like they
you're
have a way to
upstairs.
view like kind of like there'd be like a staircase and there's almost like a balcony that looks down.
Yeah, there'd be some of
Yeah.
those too.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like it would be the same flooring, the same walls, and like the same kind of things you'd find in my house, but it would be scattered and weird,
Oh,
uncanny. Those
that's
dreams
weird.
suck.
Huh.
Yeah, that dream
You got it.
isn't fun.
You got any other weird stories or spooky dreams?
I had one where I was riding on a snowmobile, and I guess there was wire going from these trees,
Yeah.
and I wasn't going particularly fast.
Just you on the snowmobile?
Yeah, just me. And I wasn't going particularly fast. I went through the string, and I could feel my body falling apart
That sucks.
into slices, and my vision would slightly fade. And it was like,
Huh.
ugh. And I forced myself awake. I'm like, ugh, nope.
Well,
Oh, actually,
I guess go on.
there was one dream I had where I was almost convinced that I had died. And so you're gonna laugh really hard. But like I fell in a hole, or like the ground gave way underneath me, and I fell,
Yeah.
and then and then fucking falling down this hole, there were crystals that were glowing, but it was like the tube. It was a tube, and it changed left, right, up, down, and stuff. Convinced I was dead, and credits
So
start
like you were
rolling,
going towards like hell or like another plane of existence because you had
or
died
just
basically.
falling down a hole. Yeah, pretty much. And
Huh. There's a bunch of crystals there.
yeah, it was just like a stone tunnel.
That's kind of cool. Like interesting.
And then movie credits started rolling in front of or I guess what would be my
Who's the
vision.
director?
I don't know. And fucking all I could hear too. You're gonna you're gonna laugh really hard. In the background, I can hear Hanky the Christmas Pooh. He loves me and he loves you.
That would be your end credit song.
Yeah, that it was in that dream, and then I woke up and I thought I had actually died until I woke up. I'm like, oh my fucking god! I was crying. I was like, that fucking sucked. Crying to my auntie and my mom. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go back to sleep.
One of the only like nightmares that I've had recently, I guess. It wasn't like it was a few years ago. I don't get nightmares very often, but I remember like waking up and being terrified. And it was such a like I was terrified waking up for like 20 seconds and I was like, this is ridiculous. Why was I like freaked out? But it was the dream was my grandmother was in like an old mobster like mob gang,
Uh,
like she was in with a bunch of like old mobsters and they were driving around with like Tommy guns and old cars and they were like, let's go get those guys. See? Meh, see? And like the three guys she was with was basically the Three Stooges and they're like thumping around and stuff and she's like the like head mafia person
the
and
grand mama.
I did something and they were after me and I remember like this wasn't a scary dream when I was dreaming it. I was like terrified that like my grandmother was in the mob and she had put a hit out on me and they were trying to like kill me and they were like going through the house being like, where is he? See? Meh, see? And, like I remember I went into like the workshop and I was like hiding under these like workbenches behind a bunch of boxes so they couldn't find me and I was like I was like terrified because my grandmother was like a mafiosa who was like, we gotta get the boy, teach him a lesson. And then I
Nah.
woke up terrified finally and then I was like and I was like, what a
I
stupid
was
dream to be
scared.
scared of. That's so like ridiculous that my grandma's in like the mob and she's like running around with her cronies trying to get me.
Ugh, dreams are wild. They're not when you look back on them, you're like, whatever. But in that moment that you're there, it is. I don't know about you, but for me, it is. as real as the conversation that we're having. It just sucks.
Yeah, the emotions way like stronger in a dream almost.
Yeah. I got one more short one for you.
Okay, sounds good.
So, you know the spiraling road in like parking garages?
Like you know how the parking garages kind of like loops back on itself to go up.
Yeah. But like
Okay,
how they used to have it, it was like a spiral.
like a circle, like rounded all the way up.
Yeah, instead of being
Yeah.
the parking garages themselves. So in this dream, I was going down one of those into the ground,
Okay.
and slowly it was turning to mud after a couple of floors.
Yeah.
And I and as the deeper as you
Like
go, the
mud or
softer
dirt.
it got. Mud.
Uh,
So it's just made out of mud. And I could feel myself sinking into the ground.
were you walking or?
Uh, at one point I was, and then I was like sinking into the mud. And it's just so the walls, the roof, the ground, everything is mud. And I can sinking and being unable to get out. And it just
Well, you
uncomfortable.
would have just sunk to the next floor.
No, it didn't work like that, unfortunately.
It's a reoccurring message in your dreams where you should stop just continuing to follow something scary downwards.
I wasn't following anything. I was just
I know.
going down, and yeah, it just fucking turned out that way. Ugh, just sucks. I don't have nightmares that often. The last nightmare I probably had is like over 2 years ago, maybe a little less, but
Now you're gonna have one tonight.
yeah. But when I have those nightmares, they affect me for a couple of weeks. I usually wake up. You know how pins and needles feel?
Yeah.
So imagine that feeling, but like times 10. I would wake up from or before I wake up from my dreams, I would feel that all over my body. And that feeling would leave me traumatized for a couple of weeks. And that's how bad the nightmare can get once every couple of years. It's just like, oh, it's like an
They come in like
accumulated
waves.
nightmare.
They come in like
Yeah.
waves where you won't have much and then you get a bunch.
No, I have one nightmare every so often,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
once a year or more. But when it hits, it hits hard. So every nightmare I don't have, it accumulates into one really bad one. It seems that's
Hmm.
how those my nightmares seem to work.
Well,
That's it. That's all the stories I got.
thank you for joining me and telling me your horrors.
Yeah, no worries. I like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, no. I've enjoyed this a lot. This is a lot of fun. I like hearing the
Thanks for
worst
inviting me
things
onto
that have
your
ever
express.
happened to people's brains.
Oh yeah, brains are neat.
But yeah, no, thank you for being a part of this new show, this new haunted passenger show. And toodaloo, as they say.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.